Okay, let's leave. It was a crazy weekend. Few people would have believed me if I had told you in the last video that a boat was going to collide with the Brooklyn Bridge over the weekend, but the Democratic Party would still manage to establish they were the ship that was sinking the fastest. But here we are. As you are all aware, I make an effort to respond to all inquiries. For example, what actually transpired while James Comey was walking on the beach? My brain isn't very excellent. Why didn't Tim Walz post a picture of his son's arrival home instead of the photo of him attending prom? When did Chipotle start serving its own food? When the Secret Service arrived at Ed Crassen's home, how did it appear? Did Biden's physician conceal not only his test results but also the discovery of Obama's wedding band? Should we now acknowledge May 17th as the actual Cinco de? Did Carr have a plane ready to give to Kamala as a gift if she had one? Perhaps most significantly, you believe that child rapists should be treated with respect. Yes, I do. I always try my best to give everyone a fair warning, you know. Soon, the next train will arrive. Please move aside from the yellow line if you are the customer with the luscious melons. The customer with the luscious melons is that one. Sir, please keep your distance from the yellow line. However, despite my best efforts to comprehend everything, there is something about this liberal math that defies logic. Certainly, Voltaire was correct when he remarked, "Those who can make you believe absurdities can make you commit atrocities." For 50 years, I have been listening to this, __. It was said in the 1960s that oil would run out in 10 years. Another ice age in 10 years occurred in the 1970s. In the 1980s, acid rain was predicted to wipe out all crops within 10 years. The ozone layer was predicted to be annihilated in 10 years in the 1990s. It was predicted in the 2000s that the glaciers will entirely melt in 10 years. The east and west coasts will be underwater in 10 years due to sea level rise, according to the 2010s. Taxes increased, but none of this fear-mongering crap materialized. Therefore, it's possible that we don't fully understand what transpired on that Mexican ship or what 8,647 really means. And Harry's inability to detect the flavor of something amiss certainly appears odd. In my opinion, the truth is what we are all desperate for right now. Not everything that people see online should be trusted. Indeed, among about 120 other people, I killed Jeffrey Epstein, Vince Foster, Seth Rich, Ron Brown, Mary Mahoney, James McDougal, Christopher Sin, Ian Spiro, Dana Hyde, and others. However, I would never hold kids beneath a pizzeria just to get their blood. Am I some sort of monster? Take a look at this from Brad. An important institutional milestone for XRP has been reached with the introduction of regulated XRP futures on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Continue by stating, "We're very excited to report that Hidden Road cleared the first block trade on CME at the opening. Additionally, well-known cryptocurrency exchange BitMEX hinted at an impending RLUSD listing. Swift affirms that numerous banks, including Wells Fargo, are interested in utilizing Ripple XRP. I'm in XRP because of FOMO for that reason. Though it's only around $2.40 or something, I don't really believe in it. What if that turns out to be the next Bitcoin? And maybe most significantly from Tennessee Senator Bill Hagerty. The Genius Act, which creates the first pro-growth regulatory framework for payment stablecoins, will be passed by the Senate this week, making history. This bill will strengthen the U.S. dollar's position as the dominant currency, safeguard consumers, boost demand for U.S. treasuries, and guarantee that innovation in the digital asset space belongs to the United States of America, not our enemies, the statement continued. It will mostly be U.S. treasuries, in my opinion. In actuality, this will have the effect of making stablecoin issuers the world's largest investors of U.S. treasuries by 2030, according to Citibank predictions. And have a look at this little update from Muni. I would like to thank Munis.io for sponsoring this video as we discuss them frequently on this channel. On June 1st, the existing Muni Protocol investment program will formally come to an end. This indicates that Muni Prime and Momentum Middle Pool Multibridge are finished. However, this is not a negative thing. Muni's goal has always been to increase liquidity, construct the platform's foundation, and then advance it. Muni is doing just that as promised. In order to provide consumers with complete compliance, actual structure, and the elimination of open investment programs, they are currently merging with one of the biggest centralized cryptocurrency exchanges. Muni is now running a significant promotion, though. A 15% incentive will be applied to any deposits made before June 1st. 3 seats have also been made available for their Muni Prime Superior Pool. Existing Muni users will have their current plans expire, but there won't be any extensions or reentries. And now is the ideal moment to check out Muni if you haven't already. Check out muni.io by clicking on my link below. Okay, let's look at some more of the most popular headlines. It has been 100 days since we arrived here. The spending we have witnessed over the last 4 years is the result of the Biden administration. We are committed to reducing spending and expanding the economy even though we inherited the largest deficit to GDP 6.7% when we weren't in a recession or a war. The business that created USDC Circle is in informal negotiations to sell to Ripple or Coinbase. There is a video that shows Diddy recruiting partygoers in Las Vegas. The issue is that you have a mental model for how Donald Trump could. How is Donald Trump able to? How can we stop it? Donald Trump, guys? I don't think Donald Trump is a fool. Donald Trump, I want to be extremely clear. You and every critic are not as intelligent as Donald Trump. In Colorado, misgendering is now illegal. Naturally, this is the same state where stealing $19.99 worth of goods from a retailer only carries a $1,000 fine. How is it possible for someone to be so skilled at irony and so awful as president? You will witness the most significant event that transforms America if I am elected president. Cancer will be cured by us. Evidence that those who are pathological liars are unaware that they are lying. Do voters, and particularly presidents, have a right to more specific health information about presidential candidates? Susan, it must be universal, so I'm happy you inquired about openness. For many, many years, Joe has been really open. Joe lets it all out, which is the one thing we all know about him. He is truthful. He is honest. The goal of Donald Trump, however, has been to conceal everything. Is there anything left for Chuck Schumer to accuse Trump of? Trump despises offshore wind. Prime Minister Sinister of Canada Mark Carney acknowledges that the goal of the net zero agenda is financial gain. By 2050, we will be able to achieve net zero. In fact, you can measure the short term since we will have defined goals by 2025 and 2030. They don't say it as loudly, but they're thinking and saying the same things, and we're going to watching for a new all-time high for Bitcoin if it manages to overcome the bearish divergence. Another thing to consider is that it's not impossible that Bitcoin might reach $122,000 if we make a measured move with the descending expanding wedge. Additionally, keep in mind that cryptocurrencies typically follow Bitcoin's lead. I'll be keeping an eye on it and will notify you of any further speech if he were truly bringing about a dictatorship. You people have no idea what fascism is. You cannot criticize the ruling government in a fascist regime using your right to free speech. You keep making up crises in your minds, which is why no one takes you seriously. Take your medication and go __ yourself if anything in this video offends you. Does that make sense? Additionally, you might enjoy this video here if you have a few more minutes. 420 XRP is need to get wealthy.